Hello fans of Marvel Heroes and friends of my channel, my name is Wilfred and today I'm at the test center for this biggest system update ever, free-to-play game Marvel Heroes. So I've been doing various testing videos over a course of time on various heroes, various features and so on. As and when there's some update in the test center, I try to make another video on some of these heroes that you've been requesting. So today, let's talk about Ghost Rider. He's one of my favorite heroes. I remember the good old days when the advanced pack was value for money, and I got packed, and Ghost Rider was one of the free hero that came with it. I was in Australia, made the purchase when I was holidaying in Australia. So a lot of good memory, file memory on Ghost Rider. So as of today, he's very nice to play. He has a lot of variety. You can play him as a melee range, physical, mental, like a chain build, which is my main build. You can also play him like a pure range mental build as well, or you can play him a little bit like movement. Hell from Above is arguably one of the best animation in the game from power perspective, at least from my perspective. You can play him a little bit of fun, which is the ride, or just a lot of like moving, a lot of fire everywhere kind of build. Or you could like Damnation is another nice build that people have been using just to spread the fire around it. And also you can play him as a more of a risk-taking, which is probably the only viable build when it comes to endgame. Or you play him a little bit safe as well. So there are many options out there. So I've taken a look at the test center. I think by and large his design is alright. But I don't think I can do a chain build anymore because one of the trait tier, I can't pick any power from it that satisfy my chain build. So one build down, but there are other options out there that make it a little bit compelling as well. So in this video, I'm going to walk through some of these powers that he has, the trait as well as the talent. Now I'm going to go through one of the terminals, and I think Gazillion has cleaned up the terminal difficulties level. So previously, if you look at my previous video, you have cosmic, you have green, red, cosmic. After that, you have all these various like normal, heroic, and also cosmic as well. So I think they've cleaned up a little bit, and I don't know whether they have done some tuning or not. But I seems to be able to do a little bit more, which is on heroic. But I still can't really do too much on the cosmic because of my lag. I always get hit before I move out and I got hit. I move out, got hit, and I keep dying. So it wasn't really fun for me. But I'll do another video called The New Approach to Marvel Heroes, the trend perspective, because I know a lot of you probably follow me through a long time, knowing me that I probably have some insight to share with you, looking at the trend, where the game is, and whether you still enjoy the game or not. I mean, this sort of thing, a very valid question when it comes to stocking up. Shall you or shall you not spend another $100 on this game? It's something worth playing. So that's another episode I'm going to do. But today is all about Ghost Rider. So now I'm going to walk through his power and trait very quickly. So trait-wise, his Warden archetype is Strength and Intelligence. So it's rather good because fighting and energy is worse. Because you're fighting with you're competing with the 5% crit and 5% brutal, like Gambits. Some of these heroes just unfortunate to be fighting and also energy. So anything that's not of those two types, I think is rather nice. I mean, just a sidetrack a little bit. I don't think from the Infinity System perspective they should lump the attribute leveling inside. They should make it independent in some way. That's my only personal take on this one. Then you can he's a Pale Rider, which when you do traveling power, you leave a damage over time across for 3 seconds, which is very nice. Look at the twice per second. It's rather high compared to things like Hellfire, which is probably like 3,000 odd. This is 5,000 odd, so the tuning is rather interesting for this one. Then the third one is Protect the Innocence, which is more defense, the flat heroes. Now on the power design point of view, all this power you should be familiar with it. I don't think they have changed anything from an active power perspective, but I'll go through with them nonetheless. How they decide what is Vengeance, what is Hellfire, I do not know. Seriously, for example, Chain Snare, it has nothing to do with apply Hellfire, so probably they put it here, but to me it's more like a chain kind of power. So anyhow, okay, so basic power, I'm not going to talk too much about that. The Infernal Wheelie, which is the movement power. Then you have Condemn, which is to pull the mob across to you. Burn the Threats. I absolutely hate this power after this new build. I don't know whether it affects right now or not, because I think right now you don't require to move or at least walk around as much right now. But in the new world, which I tried a superheroic, I have to keep walking around and dashing around. And burn the thread has this delay that, if I point at the boss and I click the button, say burn the thread, you would have thought that it would go directly to the boss, but it doesn't. It will have like a half a second delay. So after you burn the thread, you want to walk away, and guess what? They actually fire on the other way, so it doesn't hit the boss at all. It's really totally weird. So after you burn the thread, you have to stay there for half a second or 1 second to make sure that you hit the boss, then you walk away, which sometimes you'll die doing that. So I'm not going to do that anymore. But again, I mean, it's one of those things that you have to experience. Then you can feel my frustration of using this one. Then you have the whirling chain. Back then, X-Defense Day, a lot of people like to use it to protect the students. They have a really cool power coming out from this one using the talent. I'm going to talk a little bit about it as well. Then you have Hell from Above. I showed it to you already. Judgment is still there, which is a very hard-hitting chain, kind of like melee single spander. Not single spander, single power, single target power. Then you have the chain fletcher, which is very much like this one here. I think right now is they sort of like put a flay and this one in cooldown, share cooldown, but now they don't have a share cooldown, so you could potentially have the chain fletcher as well as the flay if you so wish to. Chain lash is the melee spander, is still there, but like I said, so this, if you want to do a chain and a little bit of like Hell from Above, then it's probably you would like to use that. From Hellfire perspective, you have so this one is actually a debuff. So the design of Ghost Rider is rather interesting. The Hellfire appear everywhere. People be asking, what is Hellfire? What is Hellfire? What is Hellfire? But actually, it's the basic power that you have. Now you don't need to rank it up, so it's good. Then you have so this is the Hellfire. You won't use it, but you'll use it to proc the damage over time layer. Vengeance, if you look at this one, it doesn't look very fantastic, but then with the talent, it becomes a different purpose. Inferno is still there. Apply the so you can put like a fire somewhere here. I think it can do up to 3, maybe. No, 4. Seems like I think 2 is what you can do. Seems like it. So that is the Inferno. Yeah, maximum area 2, of course. Then you have the Hellfire Beam, which is the main spender if you do a ranged kind of pure mental build. Damnation is one of my favorite. Just want to recap what Damnation is. It is wonderful. It's beautiful, and the talent make it even more beautiful. Alright, so that is one option there. Then you have Flay, and talk about that already. Chain Snare, talk about it. It's just like, swirl the chain to the mob. Then you have the Penance, which has an execute to it, and has a cooldown of 20 seconds. So that concludes all the powers that you have. Now let's take a look at the talent itself. So you have 3 parts to it. Vengeance apply protected, meaning that whenever you do Vengeance, you feel you absorb a little bit more damage. 3,000 is not really a lot though, seriously, but it's about 10% of my health. So I mean, it's all right. So that is has a 8-second cooldown. Every 8 seconds you can absorb 3,000 kind of health. Not bad, not bad. I think I'd rather have this one. Then Inferno, summoned another Inferno onto you. So with this one there, then you have like sometimes I think right now the Inferno, how it works is that if you stand on it, you get a buff, but it's kind of like tedious. You have to put an Inferno over the boss, Inferno over yourself, and they kind of like reduce that kind of action with just 1 click. 2 Inferno appear, but I think at maximum areas 2. Then you have the Eternal Damnation. This is my absolute favorite because I love Damnation a lot. I always thought that Damnation has rather low DPS, but now they buff it by addition 100%, not double, but addition 100%, with a power radius of 50%, and no spirit cost. Wow, but it costs health instead. So just take note of that. But I mean, if you play Ghost Rider, you probably want to sort of like a low health kind of like build anyway. So that's one option. Then Chains of Vengeance. This one buff physical power if you want to go full physical. This one buff the mental power if you want to go full ranged. And guess what? If you're a hybrid like me, then you probably pick the next one, which is when you're below 50%, you gain a damage resistance. My only complaint is that the damage resistance is just too low, I think, because when you are below 50% of your maximum health, which you could proc the contract, you are left with no, right now I'm 30,000 health because I'm using health gear, but I could end up with 12,000 health and 10% damage resistance is not really a lot. So my only complaint is I think this one should buff to 20 or 25% from my experience. Anyhow, next bit will Hell on Wheel. Now, so this is the part whereby I mentioned that the chain build is gone. My chain build is gone. Why? Because this 3 option here, I don't want to pick any of this if I'm chain build. Now I'll tell you why. Whirring chain become a wheel on Hell on Wheel, which is really cool. So what it does is that this one become our, last time we have a signature, if you remember, this one. It doesn't have a charger power, but it has the animation that start and stop. So stop has an animation to it. You see that? So it is rather interesting for the fact that you could do a lot of like fun thing with it. I think in a less casual kind of like farming for some lower difficulties stuff, I think it's rather nice. So it's one option there. Another option is that burn the threat, the 50% increase in damage, and also has a cooldown to it, and also health from above -2 seconds instead of 8 seconds, 6 seconds. The only kind of like a complaint is that I hate the burn of threat. It doesn't work for me. If I keep moving around, it keep burning at different kind of places it's a totally waste of my space. So I don't want this one either. And also, if I look at my chain build, I don't have this one either, because mine is chain. I want to do chain. I use Inferno, and the rest of it I use chain. But I can't use this one. Third one is that one final show. Health from above gain more, like kind of like get more buff, and cost health to it. But if you are below 50% health, you gain a crit chance, which is always crit. So I'm going to take this one. But this is exactly what I mean, is that all these talent and traits sometimes limit the build variety. My chain build is totally gone. It doesn't even fit any of these things here, right? Because I've got chain build, I don't want to have this. Then, what can I have? I can't have anything. I wish they have some option say no talent selected, which is a flat bonus. So if you don't choose any of these things, it's fine too. Give you a flat buff in damage rating or crit or whatnot. So that is, well, I don't think it will happen. But things like Dr. Doom, other heroes that you have seen, if you can't find anything here, what can you do? You must pick something here, or you just leave it open like me, the rebellious one. But I'll take this one. Infernal Contract is the one that reduce your health, maximum health in exchange for your powerful buff. So I'm going to use this one. I become like an Infernal Contract here. But mind you though, when the content get harder because of the so the damage resistance is 30%, while it is that, so 30% plus another kind of 10% of it. So it may worth it, but I think still a bit fragile. I've tried that. Another one is that Vengeance become buff the chain power. So if you're a chain build, then you could use the Vengeance to buff the chain power, or you can do like stroke the Blaze, which is the mental range kind of thing. So it's a bit of odd design, because I may want to do chain, but I don't want to. I don't want to lose a buff as well for chain. So what can I do? I must pick between these two kind of thing. So I don't know. The last one is that Penance will cool down -2 seconds. So instead of 20 seconds, become 18 seconds, and Execute is a bit more. So instead of 2%, become 3%. But you automatically activate the Infernal Contract, which is nice. It doesn't trigger the cooldown of the Infernal Contract, so you can do a back-to-back Infernal Contract if so you wish to. I don't know how it works. Like, if you drop your health from 30,000 to 15,000, if you do another contract on top of this automatic activated contract, will it drop to 7,000 health? Wow, no, it doesn't. I don't think it does. Anyway, or you can have the buff your Hellfire Beam. Make it more awesome, or you buff the Judgment, make it more awesome, and and so on. So it is a rather odd design. I think because this one I'm using a Judgment. Previously I used Burn the Threat, but I can't use Burn the Threat, so I'm going to pick this one instead. All right. So now I hope you've got a sense of where things are, and I'm going into the terminal just to showcase to you how it plays like. All right. So now, this is the terminal that I'm going to try. It's one of the harder one. I'm going to try the the heroic difficulties. It may not end well. You may see that I take a more conscious approach just because it's actually rather hard. So this game is become like you just walk, because you can do a traveling, but you can charge up and then kind of thing. I think suppose you could. So that pool. So this one here. So I'm just going to have 2 set of then judgment. So judgment is hit rather hard, but I don't know, man. I mean, I think the number goes a bit small these days. So now this is done, and so rather good. Walk in, don't waste your whatever. So this one you need to kind of like kind of avoid all this motor thingy. You have to avoid because it kind of like it's actually rather bad, you know. I don't know whether I've missed it or not, man. I think I missed it. Things like a bit hectic. So we have to walk a bit. I think in a higher difficulty I would have been dead, mainly because I couldn't. Mainly because sometimes when I walk, it's already too late. My latency is around, I think, 400 odd maybe. I don't know. Nowadays they don't even tell me my latency anymore. But my guess is about 400 milliseconds. It's unplayable for me for the higher difficulties, which is the cosmic. I walk away, but I'm still dead. So what the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Yeah. Okay. So that's one judgment. So I'm just procking my. Let me see the hang on. Where is my bar here? So here, what is this one here? So, okay, so some of this buff, you know, some of this buff, I wish that they move it here, just like Path of Exile. It's so much easier to see what is currently on buff or not, you know, like the Infernal Contract should totally buff up, like. So do I get a double kind of like Infernal Contract? No, it doesn't drop till like 7,000, like I thought it would. Alright, so now these are the 2 bosses, need to be a little bit careful. I need to get out from there. Man, I mean, the problem really is that this, I think they should, with the content, it's so much harder. I think they should just revert the, see? That one was like a very, very dangerous. In a high difficulty, we have been dead, you know, the boss doesn't really slow down. It keep, like 2 of them keep hitting me in a various kind of mechanic. What can I do? Sometimes I need to rush in, right? This beam here is also very, very harmful. In the higher difficulty, you could have been dead just doing the beam thingy, right? So it's just to demonstrate to you sometimes when you play this game and with all these numbers and so on, it becomes very hard to see the content. So I would presume the best way is to actually I would propose that you do not show any kind of number. Kind of thing. Don't show any of these things, and probably you have a better life with all these things that out of the way, because you have to see a telegraph. Sorry, you can't see it if you have all this number on. Unfortunately, it's not like Diablo. You know, all this number in Diablo is a lot easier to understand. I mean, they actually do a very intelligent kind of like the number pop up on the background without intruding your gameplay too much, and just one of those things in this game. Judgment. Oh no, this one is judgment. All right. So you don't see it. It's actually a very nice crit for the judgment when it hits. So I'm just going to take my time here. Don't want to take any unnecessary risk. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to trigger the boss here. This boss is yet another one. I mean, if you don't dash often, I mean, this one you have to dash, right? What can I do, really? Oh, this one have to dash out. And then you have to wait until dash out. This one have to dash out, right? I'm just playing as what you should if you play a higher difficulties, right? So I have to dash out here. And the walk. Right, so that is the thing that you have to watch out for if you play a harder difficulties, which I kind of like don't want to demonstrate right now because I'm not really geared for it, and it takes really long time to do a higher difficulties. I could clear though. I mean, but clear without defeat is quite hard, you know. But because this game is just too laggy when it comes to it. So now, if you take a look at the ultimate, it looks something like that. So I'm run out of charge already, I think. So in the higher difficulties, I will be at that, and it kind of like I can't even see sometimes like where things are because of the like. If you look at my screen right now, what do you see? You don't see anything, do you? Like like half the thing is black. What can I see here, right? So now it's phase 2. I never have to do it when right now with my Ghost Rider, it's just one of those things. Yep, judgment. But anyway, I mean, all these builds are not like finalized. I haven't really looked into the whole thing on the what is good, what is not. So that is done. Yeah, it's just the difficulties. So wow, look at him, man. He got all fire dripping everywhere. So I hope you enjoy what you've watched here, the Ghost Rider. Have some idea of what you can do with him, what kind of options when it comes to picking up talents, what he's good at and what he's not, and also the preview of the personal difficulty slider. Now I'm going to do a new video on this like trend of the Marvel heroes in this after this new update to give you some insight of what to expect, how to approach the game probably. Because I've been playing this game for quite some time, I've been wondering what is this little piece of thing that's been flying, like a piece of like a photograph or something like that. Anyhow, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.